Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines, and today we are going to study about pressure measuring devices. So we have two types of pressure measuring devices. So the first type of pressure measuring device is manometers, and the second type is mechanical gauges. In mechanical gauges we have three types again. The first type of mechanical gauge is Bowden's, Bourdons, Bowden's pressure gauge. Okay, this is a mechanical gauge which we use to measure the tire pressure. And the next type is diaphragm gauge. One by one we'll be studying. And the last type is deadweight gauge. Only the first one we have in the syllabus. So in the mechanical gauges we'll be studying only about Bowden's pressure gauge. In manometers we have two types of manometers again. The first type of manometers are simple manometers. And the second type of manometers we have differential manometers. Like I told you in the last class, what is the formula of pressure? Rho GH. So in all the types of manometers, we'll be using this formula Rho GH. Okay. In simple manometers, the first type of manometer is piezometer. Second type is U-tube manometer. And the last type is single column manometer. The single column manometer is also called as micromanometer. In differential manometers we have again some types. U-tube differential manometer. Okay, DM means differential manometer, and the second type is inverted U-tube differential manometer. So these are all the types of pressure measuring devices. You can expect one question for 5 marks in the final exam on all one of these types of manometers. So we have two types basically, that is manometers and mechanical gauges. There is only one type of mechanical gauge as per your syllabus, that is Bowden's pressure gauge. Okay, and then in manometers we have two types, simple manometer and differential manometers. In simple manometers we have piezometer, U-tube manometer, single column manometer, micromanometer, and in differential manometers we have U-tube differential manometer and inverted U-tube differential manometer. So we will be studying one by one. Okay, so first we will take the simplest form of manometer, that is called as piezometer. So we are going to study about the different pressure measuring devices. So a piezometer is a L-shaped glass tube whose one end is connected to a point where the pressure is to be measured. So what will happen if you connect an L-shaped glass tube to a point, to any point? Let's say you have a tank. Let's say you have a tank and you are connecting an L-shaped glass tube to this tank. Let's say this is the glass tube which you are connecting. To the tank. So because of this, so let's say you have liquid in this tank. So this liquid will rise in this glass tube because of the pressure of this liquid. So we will get some height of this liquid, some height of liquid depending on the pressure. So this L-shaped glass tube which is connected to the tank is called as piezometer. So because of this, what will happen, because of this pressure, this liquid will enter in the glass tube and it will rise in the glass tube. And we know the formula of pressure. What is the formula of pressure? It's rho GH. So how much height of water we get, that will be the value of pressure. Let's say in this tank you have water, so density of water will be 1000, small g will be 9.81, and let's say you got height as 2 meters. So 1000 into 9.81 into 2, you will get the value of pressure. This can also be connected to pipes. So this is the symbol for pipes in fluid mechanics. So this circular shape is usually for pipes. So if I connect this piezometer to a pipe, because of the pressure, the liquid will rise. Because of the pressure of the liquid, this liquid will rise in this glass tube and we will get some height of water. So this height can be substituted in the formula of pressure, that is rho GH, and with the help of this we can find out the value of pressure. So this type of pressure measuring device is called as piezometer. So what can I write down? I can write down that a piezometer is an L-shaped glass tube whose one end is connected to a point where the pressure is to be measured and the other end is open to the atmosphere. And due to the pressure, the liquid will rise in the glass tube, and this height of liquid which has been raised can be used for determining the pressure. Now there are two limitations of this. The first limitation is we can't measure very high pressure, because if the pressure is very high, this liquid will overflow from the glass tube. And the second disadvantage is we can't measure very low pressure, especially the pressures less than the atmospheric pressure. Those are vacuum pressures. So those are pulling pressures. Vacuum pressures pulls the atmospheric air. So that's the type of pressure used in vacuum cleaners. So if the pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure or the very low pressure, you will not get this height of liquid. If you have very high pressure, this liquid will overflow from the glass tube, and if you have very low pressure, this liquid can't be raised in this glass tube. So there are two limitations. You can't measure very high pressure and you can't measure very low pressure. It can only be used for measuring moderate pressures, not very high, not very low. So that's the limitation of piezometer. So in order to overcome these limitations, the next type of manometer was invented, and that type of manometer is called as U-tube manometer. In order to overcome the limitations of piezometers, U-tube manometers were invented. So as we know that now we know that piezometers can't be employed for measuring very high pressure and very low pressure. So what was invented is U-tube manometer. So this U-tube manometer is a U-shaped glass tube. What was piezometer? Piezometer was an L-shaped glass tube, and this U-tube manometer is a U-shaped glass tube. Okay, again it has two ends. One end is connected to a point where the pressure has to be measured, and the other end is open to the atmospheric pressure. Okay, atmospheric air. So this is open to the atmospheric air. You have pressure on the other end. So if I am connecting it to a pipe, let's say this is pipe. So I told you this is the symbol for pipe. Okay, and this U-tube manometer, it contains mercury, which is initially balanced on both the sides. If you are not connecting it to anything, let's say if you have not connected it to anything, so this mercury is balanced on both the sides. So the level of mercury will be same on both the sides, because on the left side also it is open to the atmospheric air, on the right side also it is open to the atmospheric air. So it is balanced on both the sides. So these levels of mercury will be balanced initially. But once if I connect it to a pipe, what will happen? Let's say this pipe has a pressure more than the atmospheric pressure. So this liquid will push down this mercury. So mercury level will drop down here, and this mercury level will be raised on the opposite side. So you have two levels here. Okay, so this you got here. Once you connect it to a pipe, so this liquid, if it has more pressure, if it has positive pressure, which is called as pushing pressure, and if it has negative pressure, which is used in vacuum cleaners, it is called as pulling pressure. Now if it has positive pressure, it will push down the level of mercury, and this mercury will rise on the other side. It will drop down on the left side where it is connected to the left side. Okay, now I can find out the pressure by seeing the difference in the levels of mercury I got. So the difference in the levels of mercury, for finding out that, I have to draw this level line. So at the lower level of mercury, we will draw a datum line. This line is called as datum line. Now I have to balance the pressures on both the sides. So balancing the pressure will give me the value of pressure in the pipe. So this is a pipe. So there will be pressure due to pipe also. So pressure of the liquid in the pipe also. So balancing the pressure. Okay. So pressure in the left side of limb, pressure in left side is equals to pressure in right side. Okay. So what is the pressure in left side? First is the pressure because of the liquid inside the pipe, that is P, which we are going to find out, and one is this height of liquid. This height of liquid, because the formula of pressure is rho GH. Whenever you have some height of liquid, there will be pressure. So let's say this height is H1, and this height which is above the datum line, this height, let's say this height is H2, which is the height of mercury, the heavy liquid. Okay. So let's say this pipe has a liquid which has a density of rho 1, and the density of mercury, let's say the density of mercury is rho 2. Okay. And why only mercury is used in U-tube manometers? Because mercury is a heavy liquid. It has a density of 13,600 kg per meter cube. It is heavier than almost every liquid available on the earth. So it's not very easy to push the mercury. So if you have very high pressure also, the mercury will not overflow easily from the glass tube. So that's one of the reasons why mercury is used in U-tube manometers. So we can balance the pressure. One is the pressure on the inside the pipe, and one is the pressure due to this height. So this liquid has a density of rho 1. So plus on the left side we have this P plus rho 1 GH1, because the formula for, if you have any height, the formula for pressure is rho GH. So this density of this liquid is rho 1. So rho 1 GH1. On the right side we have this height H2, and the density of this liquid is rho 2. So rho 2 GH2. So you can find out pressure. Pressure is equals to rho 2 GH2 minus rho 1 GH1. Okay. So this is for pushing pressure. That means the pressure more than the atmospheric pressure is pushing pressure. If the pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure, it will be pulling pressure. That pulling pressure is also called as vacuum pressure. Okay, so let's take up that case also. Let's say we have this connected to pulling pressure, and inside this pipe you have vacuum pressure, like vacuum cleaners. Vacuum cleaners, what it will do? It will pull the liquid. It will pull the atmospheric pressure. So what will happen? Because of this pulling, this mercury will rise on the left side and it will drop down on the right side. Because U-tube differential manometers, it has, by default, it has mercury field inside it. So what will happen because of this? This fluid is pulling the mercury. Okay. Now one is the pressure inside the pipe, and let's say the density of this liquid is rho 1, and this has a height of H1. So we will draw datum line at the lower level of mercury, and let's say this height of mercury is H2. Now balance the pressures. The concept is balancing the pressure. On the left side we have P, and on the left side we have this height H1, which has a density of rho 1. So rho 1 GH1. And on the left side we have height of mercury, which has a density of rho 2. So plus rho 2 GH2. On the right side we have nothing. Above the datum line we have nothing. So 0. So only we will calculate above the datum line. So on the above datum line we have H2. So for H2, rho 2 GH2. For H1 we have rho 1 GH1, and pressure of liquid inside the pipe is P. So from this we will get the value of P is equals to minus rho 1 GH1 minus rho 2 GH2. You don't have to mug up these formulas, only remember the concept how I am balancing the pressure, because it's very difficult for you all to remember all the formulas. Okay, so the next type of manometer is single column manometer or micro manometer. Single column manometer or micro manometer. This manometer is similar to U-tube manometer. The only difference is in U-tube manometer it was a U-shaped glass tube. Apart from this U-shaped glass tube, it has a large reservoir which is connected to one of the limbs of this. So this large reservoir is also called one large column. So that's the reason it is given as single column manometer. So what is the advantage of this large reservoir is, so when you connect it to a point where the pressure is to be measured, what will happen, because of this pressure there will be liquid in this large reservoir, that is usually mercury, and because of this pressure this liquid will go down. Because of this pressure which is exerted by this fluid inside the pipe, this fluid will push down this, so this mercury will rise on the right side. So what will happen because of this is, because it is very large, the level which it drops down is very less, so you don't have to calculate that height which has been dropped down, so the calculations will become quicker. So that's the advantage of a single column manometer. So let's say after it has been connected to a pipe, it is pushing down this level of mercury, and the drop in the level of mercury is, let's say, delta H. Okay, so that's the drop in the level of mercury, because we connected it to a pipe and the pipe pushed down this mercury level. And so let's say this is my datum line XX, and this height, let's say this height of this liquid which has a density rho 1, okay, is H1, and this height of mercury, let's say it is H2 from delta H, okay, from H. So the principle is same. We will be using the same principle, that is the balancing of pressure. Pressure in left side is equals to pressure in right side. On left side we have pressure due to this pipe P, pressure inside the liquid of this pipe P, plus this height H1 plus delta H, and the density of this liquid is rho 1. So rho 1 into G H1 plus delta H. Total height of this rho 1 liquid is H1 plus delta H. And what is the pressure on the right side? H2 plus delta H, and density of this liquid is rho 2. So what is the pressure on the right side? Rho 2 G. Rho 2 is the density of liquid, rho 2 G. What is the total height? H2 plus delta H. See, in all the types of manometers the principle is same, that is balancing of pressure. Okay, just to see the height, what is the height and the density of this liquid. So rho 1 G H1 plus delta H, and the pressure inside the pipe, that is P. On the right side we have H2 plus delta H height, and we always draw this datum line at the lower level of mercury. Above this we will see the height. So this height is delta H plus H2, and the density of this liquid is rho 2 on the right side. Okay, so now we can find out this value of P. P is equals to rho 2 G H2 plus delta H minus rho 1 G H1 plus delta H. Okay, we were ending our equation till here for all the types of manometers. For this type of manometer we have some extra part to do, and that extra part is we have to observe one thing. What is the volume that has been dropped on the left side is equal to the volume that has been raised on the right side. The amount of volume that has been dropped on the left side is equals to the volume that has been raised on the right side. So volume dropped in left side is equals to volume of liquid raised on the right side. So what is the volume formula? What is this drop? This area into this cross section. So area into height is the formula of volume. So let's say the area of this reservoir is capital A and the area of this pipe is small a, because this area is bigger than this area. So I will take this area as capital A. And what's the rise here on the right side? Rise is H2, and this area, we will take that area as small a, because that area is lesser than this. So from this we will get the value of delta H is equals to A into H2 by A. Now see this term, small a by capital A. That means this area divided by this area. So this area is very small as compared to this area. This area is almost, let's say, 100 times or 10 times bigger than this area. So we will get a value somewhere around 0 point something. So that's almost 0. So since this 0 into anything will become 0, so delta H is very small and can be neglected. So delta H value, put this value as 0 here and 0 here. So we will get the value of P as rho 2g H2 minus rho 1g H1. So I have explained about the different types of manometers. The first type of manometer is a piezometer, which is L-shaped glass tube, whose one end is connected to a point where the pressure has to be measured and other end is open to the atmosphere, and because of that pressure there will be rise in the glass tube, rise of liquid in the glass tube. With the help of that rise we are able to measure the pressure by substituting the formula rho GH. And the second type of manometer was U-tube manometer, which consists of a heavy liquid, usually mercury. So that mercury will be pushed down because of when it is connected to the pipe, and because of that difference in height we will balance by using the concept of balancing of pressures, and we will get the value of pressure inside the pipe. And the next type of manometer we studied is single column manometer, which contains a large reservoir. Again the concept is same, that is the balancing of pressure. Okay, so these are the different types of manometers, simple manometers, and in the next class we will be studying about differential manometers, which are connected to two different points. Unlike these manometers are only connected to one point, so like one point, one pipe. Differential manometers can be connected to two different pipes, so you can measure the difference of pressure. So with the name itself we can say differential manometer, difference of pressure, to measure the difference of pressure. Those type of manometers are used. So this was all about the different types of manometers, and in the next class we will be studying about the differential manometers. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.